Yo, what's going on, guys? Today in this video we're going to be making a video on Predecessor, um, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to build Greystone depending on where you are, either the jungle or Offlane. You can play him as support, but you know that's pretty risky, but I'm just going to be covering the jungle and Offlane. So let's go ahead and get straight into this. Whenever you start up, you can either do the Offlane or you can do jungle. It's totally up to you. I'm going to be showing you both builds that I like to do, and this is all personal preference. Jungle is a early game. It's kind of a battle, but late game you're going to be doing pretty good. These are just cards that I like to do in the order that I like to do them in. But yeah. All right. So when you start off, you're going to be greeted by all of these crests. And so what you want to choose as Greystone, the best one in my opinion to choose is Warrior's Crest. So you get Ice Scorn Talons, Phoenix, and Brutal Axe. 10 ability
Minions
haste.
are spawning.
It creates an ice sheet on the ground within like, 10 feet, and allies on sheet deal 15% more damage for 3 seconds. They also gain 15% movement speed for 3 seconds. Enemy units on the sheet are slowed by 15%. Slayer deals 30 damage to minions on hit, so that's pretty good for clearing out waves. Phoenix is the one I like to choose in offlane. I feel like this is, even in jungle, I feel like this is the best one that you could choose because Greystone already has that life that he gets back, but he also gets a second one. So this one, it's called Active Rebirth. Well, the card's Phoenix, but it's called Active Rebirth when you activate it. Press L1 or up or whatever you're on PC or PlayStation. I'm on a PlayStation, so my settings are set to I would press R1, and that makes it to where I basically get another Greystone ult. It's just a very good card to pick as Greystone, but there's also Icecorn Talons. A lot of people recommend that. I personally don't ever use Icecorn Talons, but just these two, as far as I know, are the best to use. And yeah, so let me go ahead and show you guys the cards. So the starting cards that you're going to want to use, that you're going to want to get straight into. So we'll go over Offlane and what I like to run for starters. And so you're just going to want to invest into this card right here. And you're going to want to go ahead and get this card, Fire Blossom. And so your main thing that you want to do early game is get this, the Brimstone. Deal deal 12 damage per second in the area around you. Increase 50% towards monsters. Really good in the offlane for clearing minions, and the little green buff that gives you health and mana back, and then gives you coin and XP. It's really good for that. So yeah, and then you
Enemy
buy the full card.
tower
You get
under
you get all the
attack.
Fire Blossom. You're not going to be getting rid of this card. It's very good and really good for wave clearing, and it does decent amount of damage. Damage increased to monsters and immobilized targets, and I'm pretty sure that's what Greystone does with his circle attack on PlayStation. My settings that I have. The circle attack is a like flame sword. It looks like this. A circle, and the sword's on top. And yeah, so this card's really good to have. And I've went through and I've tried many different starter cards. I used to start out with Overlord. Used to start out with Basilisk. Used to start out with Draco. Um, Even I've started out with Infernum before. Like I've tried a lot of different ways, and to start in offlane, and Fire Blossom is by far my favorite. Those are just a few of the cards that I've tried for starters, and yeah, so Fire Blossom will be your first card. For your second card, you're gonna want to run Basilisk. Basilisk gives you 40 plus physical power, 350 health, 15% ability haste, and so Corrode on damaging hero reduces their physical armor by 4% for 3 seconds, which is really good because you're a physical. You pretty much do only physical damage, and stacks up to 6 times. At 6 stacks, they become eroded, and then Eminence, I'm pretty sure that's how you say. When a basic attack erodes heroes, deal 4% targets missing health as damage, and that's really good. That's very good. This card is definitely one of the meta I would say for Greystone. So usually you're probably about 10-15 minutes in by the time you get Basilisk, maybe 20 depending on how your game's going. Go over them right now. So Greystone has a couple counters. One being Severog, and the other one, it's not much of a counter, but I feel like Quang counters him a little bit because he throws down his sword and it immobilizes him, so it makes it to where it does a lot of damage to him, and you know, because he can't escape anywhere. So he just usually gets beat on by Quang and Sevarog, because Sevarog has this he like throws down this like aura or something like that, and it sticks to the ground, and uh, Greystone gets stuck again, and you know, it counters him pretty well, especially whenever you're going for a tower push and you're kind of sitting there on the edge of the tower. Once he has his ult, he can just bang you into the
Enemy
tower,
tower
and
under
you're either going to
siege.
lose a lot of health, or you're going to be forced to use your ult, um, or you might get out of there. But usually it just ends in a gank or something like that with those guys. So, you know, maybe I'll go over a build about like countering those guys later on. But for this video, I'm just going to be showing you a basic offlane and a basic jungle build that I really like, and I feel like it's very good for either one, even just running it, even not even running like some sort of magical protection or physical protection, like much of that. It still runs really well. Next card, you're going to want to go into Mutilator. So Mutilator gives you 8% Omnivamp, which is like lifesteal,
Allied
40%
tower
or 40
under
plus physical
attack.
damage, 40 plus ability haste, and that ability haste is really good. We want that. On basic attack, heroes deal 1% of their max health as damage, and that's just Mutilator as the card. Devour. Apply hits on enemy heroes. Apply Mutilate 3 times, so that's like 3% damage, or 3% of their max health, I'm pretty sure, and then steals 5% of their max health for 20 seconds, occurring once per target. So that's very good, especially for focusing down on like Grux if he's jungling, and or if he's in the off lane and he's coming after you, or even jungling, or Quang or Sevrog or one of those guys that are coming after you. It's just very good. For your next card, so started out with the Fire Blossom, then it goes into Basilisk, and then it goes into Mutilator. For the next card that you're going to want to run, it's going to be King's Bane. Now, King's Bane gives you 6% Omnivamp on top of the 8% that we have, and 40% or 40 plus physical power, 20% attack speed, which that's very good because you're going to be putting out more damage, side buffs and abilities out there more. Chaos and Order on successful basic attack deal 10 plus 15% damage on hit. Restore 10, like plus 10 health
Enemy tower
on
under
hit.
attack.
That's very good. That attack speed and everything, that's going to be working towards your advantage because you're just going to be stealing their health. You have your ult, you have the Phoenix, and you're just going to be stealing a lot of health. You're going to be able to come back. You're going to annoy the shit out of all the other guys on the enemy team. And you know, and this is a build I use personally. It's very good. It's very good. And for your third card, you're gonna want to run Lightning Hawk, Lightning Hawk, not Hulk. Lightning Hawk. This is personal preference, but for the third card, Lightning Hawk, plus 45 physical power, plus 25 critical chance. So now you're gonna be doing a lot more damage, and plus 25 attack speed. So you'll be able to get out more of that damage. Uh, you know, way more of that damage faster. And its passive is a chilling zap on every fourth successful basic attack. Deal 50% damage. Slows by 25% for 0.5 seconds. On top of the slow that you already have for pressing circle and activating the fire sword, activating it's just a non-stop spam of fire oath, and especially little targets like carries. If they're not outputting a lot of damage, you're gonna be shredding them mid lane. If he's underfed and he's not putting out a lot of damage, you're gonna be shredding middle lane too without even taking barely any damage because of the life steal, and you know, it just works very good. Um, we're gonna go ahead and get straight into the jungle build. This is my personal preference of what I use right now, currently. So for your jungle build, you get the ult and then you get the Phoenix second life back. It works out very well. And then for the first card, you start out with Overlord. And Overlord, what it's going to do is help you clear out those jungle camps a lot faster, or clear a wave with somebody if you go to gank an enemy and they just run away. You can clear out that wave very fast with them. Unless it's the carry side, you don't want to clear out the carry side's waves unless they're asking you to, because they're getting bombarded like World War Z. Just hordes of enemies coming at them and they can't do much about it. I
An
don't know.
enemy tower
But
is under attack.
you know, you usually want to use this card because it's just very good for jungle. Like, you do an area effect around the target of damage, and it kills them very fast. Deals plus 2.5% damage in the area around the target. Gain 2.5% physical power. A good starter card, in my opinion. Then you're going to get Basilisk next. You're going to go from Overlord straight into Basilisk. I want to run Infernum. Okay, so the reason why I choose it in this order is because you start out, you get that damage, because you're not going to be doing a whole lot of damage right off the back. You start out, you get that physical damage, and people might still be hitting you a little bit hard during that 20-minute period, 20-minute marker. But once you get Infernum, on top of the damage that you already have,
Enemy tower
Infernum
under
does
attack.
ticks of damage, so you're going to be melting through people so fast. You know, in early game they might have been kicking your butt or something, so they think that they can continue to do that. But you have Infernum on, and you're just going to be building that damage nonstop, and they won't be able to do anything. This is my personal preference. This is what I like to use, but I like to go into the lifesteal. So before we didn't have any lifesteal, just pure damage, a little bit of health, you know. But now we're going into lifesteal. We're just gonna run the same two lifesteal cards from the last build. I'm gonna be running Mutilator and Kingsbane in this specific order. This is how I would run Jungler as Greystone. It's a very effective build in my opinion. And early game, you're going to be taking out the camp. Early mid, you're going to be getting that damage. On top of taking out the camps, you're going to be getting that damage, so you'll be able to gank and, you know, get some damage off. Infernum then, once you get that, you're getting more damage, more mana. Apply stacks of kindling to people. You're getting a lot of that damage, but once you place that Infernum, you're doing so much damage, and you already have damage built up that, you know, it's really hard to comprehend what's going on once that
Enemy
Infernum comes into
towers
play.
destroyed.
But then once you get Mutilator and Kingsbane, you're getting all that health back, and on top of having the Phoenix and the ult, it's just really hard to counter this build, in my opinion. These are the builds that I'm good for right now. I will update this build in about a month or so, and let you guys know how I feel about the builds and how I run them later on. But I just wanted to put this video out there for anybody who runs Greystone. And if this video helps you in any way, make sure to show some support, hit the subscribe button, leave a like, and maybe share this with a friend so that he can have a good build and a predecessor for Greystone. And thank you everybody who watched the video, who made it this far.